To complete the lowercase group 1 letter forms, I'm going to go to the subcategory C of the G and the Q, and I'll go ahead and make those letter forms now. I'll show you two different ways to make the G. First will be the traditional way. This is basically an A with a descender stem loop on it, and so that's what we'll keep in mind as we make it. So we have our upstroke coming down here, like that, oval, and we'll go ahead and put our descender loop here. I start picking up pressure at the towards this bottom of the first descender space, and that's this space here, okay? Because what I want is to get a wedge shape to my stem loop, and so I've got thicker up here, gradually transitioning down to a wedge. I'm only going to bring my stem loop down to about this level here, alright? And so you now continue on. You can do this in one stroke if you wanted to. Continue down and around, make a graceful loop, not too wide. Come up, aim for just below the baseline, and transition through it like that. Do you actually cross through it? It depends on how much ink you have here, because if you have too much, you can actually pull the ink with you. So sometimes I'll pick up and then move out on the other side. Alright, you can actually see a little bleed across of my ink right there. I make my lowercase G a little bit differently. So it's the same basic letter, but watch the way I actually form the loop here. It's just more consistent for me to use. So I'll have my lead-in hairline, my oval, okay, same type of square top, come down, transition to a wedge, but now I'll pick my pen up, square this off a little bit, pick my pen up and rotate my paper, okay, because I want to form my stem loop by coming up and over the top. And the way in which that gets done is I've got my paper upside down now, and I'll take my stem and come up, hairline, over the top, a little bit of shade there, aim for just below the baseline. I'll rotate it around now, okay, and then just continue on with my connector. Alright, that's my way of making the lowercase G. I like having a little bit of weight here. You could also put the weight here, but you have to go back in and just carefully add it if you wanted it there. Alright? This is something that was common to the old masters, but making this letter in the way I do it here is actually shown in the Zenarium manual. But either way is fine. And then finally, with the lowercase q, you have the same basic shape where you start with your lead-in, your oval, and now we have our same basic wedge, pulling up to make it a wedge. But now instead of coming around this way, we would continue down, just a reverse loop. You want to bring the loop in just about at the baseline, and come out and finish it, and then just square your letter off. Thank you for your time.